It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Now, as everybody knows, Nicki Minaj's new album, Pink Friday 2, is out today. Unfortunately, it seems like two of the biggest radio hosts in the nation, in the world pretty much, they weren't really aware that the album was coming out. They had kind of forgotten about it. And it just goes to show you how out of touch the Breakfast Club really is in 2023. And I don't say that as a measure to be disrespectful to the Breakfast Club, because I feel like what they did, what they brought to the game, how they revolutionized radio, how they revolutionized what radio could look like, going from podcast format to becoming a huge nationally, internationally syndicated radio show. They blazed the trail that a lot of us have followed, and along the way, there's been some detours and some modifications made to the platform and to the way that we do things. But you got to pay homage to what they did starting out, okay? So that's the love that we're going to give Charlamagne, Envy, and Miss Angela Yee, although she's no longer at the show. But I found it very weird that they tried to act like they weren't all the way aware that one of the biggest, if not the biggest, female rapper of all time just dropped a new album and they were acting aloof about it. It's kind of weird, man. I know they've had a little bit of friction. They haven't had the greatest relationship up there. I know Nicki Minaj personally thinks that Charlamagne and Envy have just go super hard on her for no reason, that they have unrealistic expectations. And that's kind of where I draw the line, because I have high expectations for Nicki Minaj as well. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and run the clip of them talking about her album, wishing that she would have had a better rollout, wishing that she would have dropped singles, music video, all of the things, as they say. I don't disagree with them on this, but I'm gonna let them say their piece, and then I'll chime in with my opinion on top of it. All right.
I just dropped today. I know we heard a song this morning off the album, Pink Friday 2. There is a song on the album that J. Cole is featured on, and it has people going back and forth on Twitter about what are J. Cole's best features, because he bodied this feature. How y'all feeling about the feature? People are arguing that this is one of his best.
It's interesting that people say this is the first time they heard Nicki talk about it. It's the first time Nicki dropped an album since she's been married.
No, but she's been married for some time publicly.
Got married
now.
in 2019.
Yeah, but
She put out albums since 2018.
That's a lot of time. But she's put out music. That's a lot
Not
of time.
an album, though. Most of the time people address things like that in their album.
But it's a lot of time for some music to be out, and she talks about her marriage very often, and we've never heard her. I've never heard her talk openly about kind of going through things, having to figure out being married publicly with a new baby.
I hate that, this album didn't have a bigger rollout. Like, I'm mad that the album just dropped. Like, we knew it was coming out, but it's Nicki Minaj. Like, I don't even know who she signed to. Universal still?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who she signed to, but whoever she signed to, it's just like, Nicki needed and deserved a bigger rollout.
What did you want? What would it look
record? Like, she got records on this album. Like, why wouldn't a single come out? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't a big video come out before the album?
Do you feel like the Wayne album and pushing the dates and all that stepped on it?
The label in general should have had a bigger plan for a Nicki Minaj album.
Yeah,
I am sick. I am sick of big artists dropping and there's no rollout.
Yo, the sad thing is when I seen it, I thought it was a surprise album because I forgot she was dropping.
No.
I remember she mentioned it.
Because she mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, like you said, and she said, she's going to change the date because Wayne and
yes. Label.
And what's the name's album?
It's because we're used to her doing like when Queen dropped, it was Queen Radio.
Yeah.
She literally stopped the world.
Everything.
Like the city stopped. The world stopped.
Labels got to stop relying on artists and their social media followings to get the word out. Labels got to do their job. What's the point of being signed to a label if labels aren't going to, provide those kind of resources to give you the big rollouts that you deserve? It's Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
They tried a little bit. I know she had I think it was the Vogue cover. She did a cover of a magazine. I really think it was Vogue, but it was like bits and pieces. It wasn't like the uniform thing that we normally see. But I don't think rollout plans are as good as they used to be anymore. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore.
I think a lot of times where artists, labels ain't doing their job, and sometimes artists just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, even when you look at Busta Rhymes, that he just released that project 2 weeks ago, right? And Busta did everything. Busta did all the radio shows. He did the radio. He did the record stores. He did the performances. We got to get back to that so people understand what's coming out, and then we got to love the music.
And so Sim just pointed out that she did like a futuristic thing where she had like the whole AI world. It's called Gag City. And that was a rollout. It was an AI universe. But I think AI in those universes and all that stuff is kind of, it goes over the average listener's head. But I found that out today when I was just looking at what was online. And then I do have a lot of friends on the media side. Like, I have some paps that are hitting me up right now that are telling me that a lot of people are telling like paparazzi, a lot of her events, her party, just press things that she was supposed to do today were canceled. So I don't know what's happening, but it was put out there to paps that were looking for her to be out and about at these places that these things were canceled and they weren't happening anymore. Guys, Nicki Minaj dropped today.
All right, so those are the hosts over there at the Breakfast Club talking about the new Nicki Minaj album, not knowing if it was out, when it was gonna come out, wishing that she would have had a better rollout, a more expansive rollout. I don't disagree with that. As y'all saw, some of y'all that have been here for a little minute now, in my last video speaking about Nicki Minaj, I was curious on whether or not she was actually going to push the album back, because she had put out this statement going at it, and it sounded to me like she was going at the label, because she was like, no, I'm not going to do a music video shaking my ass for people to tune in. No, I'm not going to stop listening to my album and changing it and doing all of the necessary things that I need to do in order to be satisfied with it. Y'all can't tell me how to make or create or release my album. She ended up posting and deleting that. So by the time I put my video up, it was kind of crazy because folks were in my comments like, she's still keeping it on the date. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I see that now because she deleted the rant, right? But at that moment, I would love to have known what that behind the scenes conversation was like, because you put out an album and all your singles came out either a year ago or earlier in the year with no momentum leading up. That goes against the entire rollout structure of an album. Typically, when you have 2-3 singles from your project, you're going to drop them, maybe like 4 or 5 months out, start seeding the fans, letting them know it's out, putting out big music videos, opening up the budget to look larger than life, especially for a Nicki Minaj caliber artist who's one of the top. You would expect a lot more production value. You would expect her to be taking over the airwaves on TV. You would expect her to do press and do interviews at the radio. You would expect her to do her own show, Queen Radio. I mean, she's been going with Queen Radio for years now. I know that AMP is no longer a thing, but I honestly feel like in the time between the last Queen Radio and this album dropping, they could have found another platform for her to do it. Hell, she could have did it on fucking Twitch. To be honest, she could have went with Amazon Music. I don't know what her relationship is like with Amazon, but they would have gladly let her do an album listening event or some sort of Queen Radio takeover on their Amazon TV, Amazon Twitch channel. They've been doing it with artists anyway, and they're steadily creating new content that's music based. It's one of their big things now. So I feel like Republic definitely dropped the ball there. It shouldn't be on Nicki Minaj 100% to be looking out for these things or to be on top of what's going on in the industry or the business and who's doing what. Because again, like Charlamagne said, she's signed to a label for a reason. They're supposed to be the liaison that could bring things to her. They should be having conversations with her management. I don't know who her management currently is, but they should be having these types of conversations. Me just being a dude in Atlanta that raps and writes songs for TV and film, I shouldn't be the guy that's able to come up with strategies. You know what I'm saying? Or if that's the case, y'all need to start paying me. But I know the barbs don't like me no fucking way. But again, Republic, what's the deal? Now, as far as this Gag City thing, me being technologically savvy and advanced and understanding the whole AI and the Web3 stuff, I think it's very cool. I think it's very forward thinking to create this community and create this world. I think number one, the name of it is off-putting, Gag City. It sounds like a porno. It sounds like a straight up porno series that's going to have like 5 different iterations of it coming soon with Cherokee and all them motherfuckers back in it. I don't know what the deal is with Nicki Minaj and how she titles things. She got this fan base of barbs, and then she got the quote unquote swaggets. I don't like that shit neither. And that's basically the straight men that are barbs. Not into that. The appeal is just weird. That's all I can really say. The appeal is just weird. When it comes to the canceled events leading up to the album, that was also a little bit off-putting and a little bit staggering. When I first saw that she canceled the first Jingle Ball performance, I didn't think much of it because I know sometimes artists are forced to back out. Certain things can happen, last minute changes. She maybe was not prepared. Maybe she didn't know all the lyrics to her songs and stuff, needed a little extra time to rehearse based on limited time constraints and stuff like that. I didn't think that was a big deal. But then the album drops and she's canceled other events in New York to celebrate the actual release of the album. It's starting to seem a little bit off. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Somebody said that they felt like Nicki Minaj is not ready to be seen. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what her motivation is for canceling these events. Hopefully there's some sort of explanation that comes out soon. But your fans want to see you. You know, you got new music out. This is your first album in what, 4 or 5 years? You've been teasing it for 2 years. You've been beefing with all the ladies in hip hop. You know, the ones that don't bow down to you. So they want to see it. Now, when it comes to this actual Gag City, I do want to go ahead and give Nicki some props, especially with all these different entities that got involved in that particular rollout. I wish all the brands and people that were commenting and becoming a part of the universe, I wish they would have been involved in the actual release of the album for real, because it probably would have expanded the reach even further, right? In this rollout, you had KFC, you had Spotify get involved. You had Tyla talking about she was going to Gag City. Rapper Bia, actress Jackie Harry. Chili's was promoting it on their Twitter. Trident Gum. And I know a lot of these entities and brands, they use these moments to just get extra engagement on their social media, get some extra fans, hopefully get the barbs in tune with them to be like, okay, let's go support what they're doing since they're on board with Nicki. But it would have been in everybody's favor to have some sort of official collaboration rollout with the project just to make it make a lot more sense in the public eye. That's just my take on it though. When it comes to the actual album, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't the most impressed with it. I've had to come to grips with the fact that I'm just not the biggest Nicki Minaj fan. I think she's an excellent talent. I think she has the perfect female rap voice and just one of the best voices in hip hop, period. It just hurts me personally to know that she can and doesn't always push it to that limit. Now, I understand Nicki Minaj wants to put out a well-rounded project. She's not just gonna go out and just rap all day like Wayne, although I wish she would on one project. Because when it comes to songs like Falling For You, I liked it. When it came to Barbie Dangerous, I liked it. I'm a little over the Biggie interpolation that a lot of people do, right? But I liked the song. I liked the beat. It was hard. Fuck This Club Up. I thought the beat was crazy. The 808s was dope. Like, the flow was but it was solid. The song with J. Cole, I'm not the biggest fan of. I like J. Cole's verse, but it was just not, it didn't feel complete. It felt like something was missing. It might have been how it was mixed. I liked Beat Beep. I wish it was longer. Wish it was a whole full song. Beat hard, raps hard. Everything was there, and then it was like over. It was like an interlude, which pissed me off. R&B featuring Tate Cobain and Lil Wayne. I actually liked everything except Lil Wayne on that record. And I'm one of the hugest, biggest Lil Wayne fans out there today. When people have kind of moved on from Wayne, I still stick around and listen to him. But he ruined it for me, honestly, on that particular record. I thought everything else was perfect. He's got this thing he's been doing where when he features with people, whatever the last bar is that they say, he comes in trying to rhyme with it. And I think Wayne second guess that a little bit. Like, I know you're not a big second guesser. You like to go in the booth and just fire off and start laying shit. Let's stop doing that. It's become like a go-to thing and it's kind of obvious now. It really feels like lack of effort. Let's rethink that. I thought everybody was cool. Not a big Uzi Vert fan, but I liked the song Up Until he came in. I like Big Difference. I remember her performing that on the VMAs. Everybody was hyped about that. I still like the song now that it's out. Red Ruby the Sleaze. I wasn't the biggest fan of Red Ruby the Sleaze. I love the lyrics. I love the vibe of Red Ruby the Sleaze, but I just felt like at the time when she dropped it, she could have put out a bigger record, a more universal record. And when I say universal, I'm just saying like something harder. But now that the album is out, Red Ruby the Sleaze is actually one of my favorites from the project. And I'm kind of wishing she made more shit like that. And to be perfectly frank, those are the primary songs that I liked off of it. You know, the 22 song album, it wasn't for me. I don't think I'm the primary demographic by any stretch of my imagination for Nicki Minaj. She raps for the ladies. She raps for the barbs. She raps for the people that are gonna be in tune with her story. that are into the mythology of her career. I'm not that person. Therefore, I'm not going to be overtaken by all of the singing and all of the build-ups and the strings and, you know, the feminine sounds. It's not for me. I'm not mad at it. It's just not for me. I'm sure a lot of y'all are going to disagree with my takes. I'm sure some of y'all will agree or understand at the very least where I'm coming from, and that's cool. But be sure to let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble. New day.